All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Welcome back, everyone. Today we are putting a very specific, kind of unique digital product under the microscope. It's called Sweet Ice Cream Recipes. We're going to completely peel back the layers of that intense, over-the-top marketing hype and look at the cold, hard reality of what you're actually getting when you click that buy button. So, whether you're an aspiring home chef, maybe a parent looking for a fun summer project, or just someone curious about the digital product marketplace, we're breaking the whole thing down. We're looking at the exact contents, the creator's track record, and the actual real-world value of this recipe package.
Right out of the gate, we've got to ask the elephant in the room question. Why buy a digital recipe book in a literal sea of AI tools? I mean, if you're familiar with platforms like Warrior Plus, you know they are absolutely flooded right now. We're talking complex software, flashy AI generators, endless promises of automated passive income, the whole shebang. And then, sitting right smack in the middle of all that noise, is this product. A simple, straightforward recipe ebook. It's honestly almost ironic. But, that simplicity is exactly the point. We're looking at a curated collection of homemade ice cream recipes here. No complex dashboards, no confusing software to install, 0 monthly subscriptions to manage. It's literally just a PDF you can open on your phone while you're standing at your kitchen counter.
And this brilliantly illustrates the contrast you're going to find on the product's sales page. On one hand, you have this incredibly loud, bombastic marketing copy screaming 100% full, unrestricted use rights in giant, bold letters. I mean, it sounds like a massive corporate acquisition, right? But grounded in reality, this is simply a straightforward digital ebook. It's a recipe collection. They wrap it in this high-intensity marketing language because, well, that's exactly what sells on these digital platforms. But at its core, it's just a PDF guide designed to help you make frozen desserts. It's so absolutely crucial for us as consumers to look past that all-caps text and see the product for what it really is.
So what's really interesting is what actually sits inside the book. If you thought this was just going to be, 50 slight variations of standard vanilla and chocolate, you are in for a wild ride. The promotional material highlights over 100 recipes, and some of them are incredibly unique. I mean, we've got crying cayenne ice cream, because who doesn't want their dessert to make them weep, right? We have jalapeno mint ice cream and even lemon dill mustard ice cream. Yes, dill mustard. But it also practically covers specific dietary needs, offering diabetic ice cream and fruit tofu-based ice cream. It's this massive and honestly slightly bizarre flavor spectrum that goes way, way beyond the basics.
So what does this whole flavor adventure actually cost? That is $17 as a one-time price point. In the world of digital products, this is exactly what we call a low-friction entry. There's no recurring monthly subscription hitting your credit card, no hidden membership fees waiting for you down the line, and no complicated tech support required, because there are literally no moving parts that can break. You pay your $17, you download the PDF, and you start making ice cream. The financial risk here is genuinely low, which is for sure a major point in its favor when you're evaluating if it's worth your hard-earned cash.
But that brings us to an important question. Who exactly is Ibrahim Tijani? You might be wondering, even when a digital product is only $17, why does tracking a vendor's history even matter? Well, it matters because, quite literally, anyone can throw a PDF document together in 10 minutes and try to charge money for it. As a buyer, you want to know if the creator has a track record of delivering actual value or if they're just some fly-by-night operator looking for a quick cash grab. So let's do a quick background check on the person operating under this digital success innovation brand.
Looking at the vendor's history actually builds a pretty clear picture. Tijani is not a newcomer just throwing something together overnight. He's been operating on Warrior Plus for years. Now, in the past, he's launched products in completely different niches, like Bitcoin Breakthrough Reloaded. But then, he previously released 100-plus delicious ice cream recipes for $9.95. Fast forward to June 2026, and he's launching this product, Sweet Ice Cream Recipes, for $17. This tells us two very important things. First, he's built up real vendor accountability. Second, the ice cream niche clearly converted well for him in the past, which prompted this upgraded, slightly more expensive version. You just don't return to a niche unless there is real buyer interest.
The absolute key differentiator here is understanding the difference between a genuinely useful recipe book and a bad one. Look at this quote directly from the review material. A good ice cream recipe doesn't just list ingredients. It explains the why behind steps like tempering eggs and how to adjust for different freezer temperatures. Honestly, this is what you should take away from our explainer today. A simple list of ingredients? That's just a throwaway compilation you could easily Google for free. A genuinely useful collection for home cooks explains the actual technique. It tells you why you need to stir the mixture during freezing. It offers troubleshooting guidance if your dessert turns out too icy. That context, that instruction, that's what you're really paying for when you buy a guide like this.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the bonus structure. It is fascinating. Alongside your core product of over 100 sweet ice cream recipes, the vendor has thrown in some bonuses to, sweeten the deal. You get 100 health tips, 180-plus Italian recipes, and carb cycling. I'll just let the visual absurdity of that pairing sink in for a second. You are buying a giant book of sugary, creamy ice cream recipes, including eggnog and maple walnut flavors, and the attached bonus is a fitness guide on carb cycling. It's kind of a classic digital marketing tactic to stack perceived value, even if the thematic pairing is, well, a little bit hilarious.
Jokes aside, there is a very serious dietary element to evaluate here regarding modern eating habits. Any recipe collection published in 2026 absolutely must include dairy-free and plant-based options. We're talking coconut milk, cashew cream, and oat milk bases. The homemade ice cream market has shifted dramatically in recent years. If a product misses the dairy-free segment today, it is missing a massive, massive portion of its potential audience. The review data specifically notes that the plant-based segment is moving fast, and modern consumers literally expect these alternatives right alongside traditional custard bases.
And speaking of the market, the actual data driving this launch is super fascinating. Search interest for homemade ice cream shows a massive sharp peak across June, July, and August, along with a secondary, much smaller bump around December for holiday gifting. Now, the creator is launching this product on June 2nd, 2026. This brilliantly illustrates how incredibly data-driven digital product launches really are. He's timing the summer DIY frozen dessert market perfectly. People are looking for ways to cool down, broader trends are pointing toward cooking at home, and consumers just want to control their ingredients. The launch timing makes complete, absolute sense.
To put that into perspective and prove just how calculated this timing is, let's look at this specific number, 100. That represents 100 normalized interest, which is the absolute highest peak possible on a search index. And exactly when did search volumes for dairy-free ice cream hit this maximum peak? In June of 2025. So by launching in early June of 2026, the creator is riding the exact crest of that historical, data-proven wave. It goes to show that despite the simple PDF format, there is some highly sophisticated market research dictating exactly when this product hits the virtual shelves.
So let's break down the honest pros and cons here with zero sugarcoating. The simple format is a huge win. You don't have to learn a brand new software platform just to use it. Plus, as we just saw with the search data, there is genuine, proven demand for this kind of content. But there is a very realistic con we have to mention. Because it's a brand new launch, there are no verified buyer reviews yet. You're relying entirely on the vendor's past track record and the general appeal of the product category rather than actual community feedback on these specific recipes.
So, the crucial point is, where does this leave the final verdict? According to the comprehensive affiliate review we're analyzing today, the final score sits at a solid 4.1 out of 5. It earns really strong points for being unpretentious, reasonably priced at $17, and operating in a niche with real buyer intent. The conversion intent is very real here. People who buy an ice cream recipe ebook actually want to make ice cream. They aren't just chasing some get-rich-quick scheme. It is a highly respectable score for a straightforward, honest product.
However, the reviewer includes a really honest piece of advice, and I love this. If you can wait a week after launch and check sales numbers and early ratings, that extra data point is worth collecting. That is fantastic, level-headed advice for basically any digital purchase. Don't let those ticking countdown timers or the flashy sales copy force your hand. The product will absolutely still be there next week. Give the broader food community a chance to actually test these recipes, especially that crying cayenne one, and see if the method instructions truly hold up to real-world kitchen testing before you spend your money.
Which brings us to the ultimate question for you. Are you ready to start churning? We've stripped away the over-the-top marketing to show you exactly what this is. A $17 curated collection of over 100 frozen dessert recipes launching right at the very start of summer. It has the potential to be a great, low-tech, highly enjoyable addition to your kitchen, provided the recipes actually deliver on the technique. So is this something that fits into your summer cooking plans, or will you just stick to the store-bought stuff? That is completely up to you to decide. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer.